Bellevue Shoreline coming up here. Second game of a doubleheader at Shoreline Community College here on STSPN. Welcome to basketball here on a Saturday afternoon. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. Glad you're with us. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First for the Bellevue Bulldogs, their 13th year head coach Jeremy Eggers, 9-6. In overall play. This is the opener of North Division play in the NWAC, and they will start Jordan Muir-Kung out of Shorewood High School, Brian Zare out of Jackson High School, Jonathan Michael out of Shorewood, also Jack Walton out of Bellevue High School, and Calvin Dennis out of North Kitsap High School. That's the starting lineup for the Bellevue Bulldogs. For the Shoreline Dolphins at 5-6 coming in, their second-year head coach Donald Brady will send this quintet out to the floor. Jason Smar out of Edmonds Woodway High School, Gadisa Margarza from Nathan Hale High School, Skylar Kelly from Spokane and Shadle Park, Bishop Blanchette's Derek Dean starts, and Joe Geberwatt out of Shorecrest High School for the Shoreline Dolphins. Joel Boyer talking about this game between Bellevue and Shoreline. Same story we had in the women's game, and Bellevue got it done in that game pretty big. You like to start 1-0 in league play when all the games from here on out until the first week in March count.
Absolutely, and I mean, Bellevue's played 15 games, 9-6 right now. Shoreline didn't play in I think it was the just previously before Christmas tournament for 4 extra games, so they're 5-6, but it really is 0-0. I mean, so all those games are kind of those preseason games. Really comes down to your divisional, your league play. So while you'd love to be undefeated entering league play, well, now you are undefeated in league play, so it's you want to be 1-0 after tonight. So it's kind of that one game at a time mentality, obviously, and want to see where you can end up. We talked about before the 4 divisions, the North, the South, the East, and the West for NWACs in the state, or actually greater than the state, just outside as well. But 0-0 both in the North Conference.
And the team with the target on their back in the North Division has to be Edmonds. The Edmonds Tritons are 4th place in the Alaska Airlines men's coaches poll. Spokane number 1, Whatcom number 2, Clark number 3, and then Edmonds, and they are the only team in the top 8 in the NWAC Alaska Airlines poll. But Everett also receiving votes, so the Trojans may also sneak up in there as well. But Bellevue coming in at 9-6, no sniff from getting a vote or two.
Which is interesting. It'll be fun to see this Bellevue team play, see what they were able to bring to the table. We already talked about both being from the same region, that Wesco Conference up there. Seeing Brian Zare from Jackson High School as a sophomore here for Bellevue starting, obviously. You talk about how some of these guys kind of play in the shadow of some of their maybe bigger name teammates. Obviously playing with Jason Todd, who is the 2-time Gatorade State Player of the Year for Washington now, actually starting now down there at University of Portland. But Brian Zare was a terrific player in high school, kind of had part of the third of the three-headed monster with Jason Todd and Dan Kingma. So we know he's got some serious bounce in those legs and some good outside game to go with it as well. So it'll be fun to watch him play again.
Well, and you get overshadowed. And we talked about it all during this football season at the high school level. Jacob Eason, who played earlier today in the U.S. Army Bowl down in San Antonio. Sometimes the other players on those teams just get overshadowed by the superstar. But I like what Jason Pearson, the athletic director, said on our pregame show on the radio before the Bellevue or the Lake Stevens game against Skyline. We used him as much as he used us. We got our band, we got our cheerleaders on TV.
Absolutely, and that's just great for the school in general.
And so here we go, underway, Bellevue and Shoreline here. Men's basketball, 2 20-minute halves, and we're underway. Bellevue moving to our left here in this first half in their navy blue uniforms, and they go down low. It's going to be off the shoulder of Calvin Dennis and up the floor. Here comes Shoreline, their first possession of the basketball game. Shoreline moving to our right in their home white uniforms. And they go deep in the corner. Jason Smar, our player of the game a week ago, he stepped on the out-of-bounds line and commits the first turnover of the ball game, and it'll be Bellevue Bulldog basketball. We're 29 seconds into the first half, and we're yet to score in the ball game.
Both teams starting out in a man-to-man defense, looking to kind of feeling each other out, obviously, in the first possession each. I'm staying in the man-to-man for Shoreline Dolphins.
Out on top of the key, they work the perimeter here. Bellevue, 30-second shot clock again this year in high school or in college men's basketball. They tried to force it down low to Jack Walton, knocked away and grabbed by Shoreline. Dolphins with Smar, puts up a three, won't go, may have been partially blocked, and the rebound controlled by Bellevue. Up-tempo game. Here come the Bulldogs. Bring it up the right wing. Brian Zare used to seeing him play the center position during high school. He's a guard here in college basketball. Left-hand side, it goes to Michael down low. Inside to the big guy, too hard, no good. Missed by Calvin Dennis out of North Kitsap, and it'll be Shoreline basketball. Yet to score. We're a minute and a half in to the basketball game. Right wing for Shoreline. Gadisa Margarza, that's a three that will go. We're not scoreless anymore. That's Skylar Kelly out of Shadle Park High School. Drains the three ball, and it's 3-0 lead for Shoreline.
And you saw Brian Zare go below that low screen right there, and obviously Kelly decided to flare on that, get over the top of it, and I think hopefully Brian Zare realizes I probably shouldn't go below that anymore when I got a shooter I'm guarding up top.
Zare will have it right side, then he gets fouled, and he'll go out of bounds to throw it in. It's going to be the foul whistle on Kelly, his first personal foul, first team foul. And Zare looks to throw it in. He does to Michael. Puts it up from 17. Bounces off the back. No good. Smar grabs the rebound. Quickly up the floor they come. 1-on-2. Goes in. Lays it up and in. Jason Smar took it the length of the floor and put it up and in. It's a 5-point lead for the Shoreline. And then a whistle. Shoreline Dolphins. We're going to have a warning here. I don't know if that's a delay of game warning.
I think our official was not appreciating the language and the jawing that was going on between the two, and they appear to not have knocked it off.
Yeah, this is going to be a little more physical game than what we've seen. And last week was not that physical, but this one is going to be. And we had a foul called earlier, and they're just awarding the foul. And a third, I think it's 14 is who they gave it to, and they put 15 on the board. And they're just kind of running through a scroll of numbers up on the scoreboard. So we'll just keep going. A 5-0 lead and a travel call. They got it down low to Jack Walton out of Bellevue High School. Remember watching him play for the Bellevue Wolverines. And he just went across the street and up 148th and went to Bellevue Community College. Of course, a lot of these guys are looking to advance now, play a couple of years of CC ball, and then try to get into a four-year school.
Absolutely, and Jake Walton for a great example, obviously playing at Bellevue High School. But he knows the coaches. He's probably played in that Bellevue Community College gym a number of times in summer leagues and whatnot. So it's a friendly environment for him to hopefully be able to go and play a couple of years and then move on to the next level.
Joe Geberwatt puts it up and in for Shoreline. It's a 7-0 lead so far here, just over 2 minutes into the contest. That is Calvin Dennis, top of the key. They'll swing it left to Muir Kung. Now swing it right side again. That's Brian Zare. Zare on the dribble in, goes through, maybe an extra step, no call. Rebound, back up and in by Calvin Dennis for Bellevue. First 2 points of the ball game off an offensive rebound by Calvin Dennis, and it's 7-2 the lead for Shoreline in a foul called. Overplay on the defense. They're going to get Jack Walton for that one.
And
but Skylar Kelly's used to that. He's the fourth all-time leading receiver in the Greater Spokane League. He's been hit like that before.
That's nothing new for him.
And he'll have to throw it in from the out-of-bounds line. First personal whistled there on Jack Walton. First team foul. Inbounds now and a steal. On the turnover, here comes Bellevue. Out of backcourt, Muir King has it. Looking over to the right side, Zare. Open three on the way. It will not go. Rattles off high in the air, grabbing the rebound. Derek Dean for Shoreline. Up the floor they go. Geberwatt laying up, no good. Rebound grabbed down by Walton. Here come the Bulldogs out of backcourt. And Jordan Muir-Kung said, you know what, let's just slow things down and we'll take it easy a little bit here. 20 on the shot clock.
Good point guard right there, realizing, hey, let's make sure we get a good possession, not just a rush possession.
Zare out of Muir-King again. Dribbles along the baseline, bounces out to Zare again. Little give and go. Nice backdoor feed down low, but he's closed off, denied there. So they go out for a two-try left side. Dennis, no good. Scrap for the board. Who's got it? Finally out of bounds. And they're going to say last touch by Bellevue. So Shoreline will have the basketball and a 5-point lead. Quickly, Jeremy Eggers will put a substitute in. Jordan Lockhart will come in out of Kent Ridge High School. And he'll check in. And checking out will be Calvin Dennis for the Bulldogs.
So you're taking out your 6'9" center and putting in your 5'8" freshman guard. So obviously Coach Jeremy Eggers choosing to go a lot smaller right now and figuring they can still compete. Geberwatt for the Shoreline is their biggest player, but they still have Jake Walton in the game, same height, same size, roughly. They can probably compete with them. So looking for Bellevue trying to probably want to run a little bit more.
The officials, Jeff Howsky, Lee Gregory, and Daniel Cheng. I'm not sure everybody's on the same page with who's in the book and how many fouls have been given out, so they're just doing a little jawing about that over there. Here's Skylar Kelly. He's in the crowd, gets fouled. You know, we talked about he played football at Shadle Park, and he likes to throw his weight around a little bit underneath there, and it doesn't matter if they're bigger than him or not.
Physical play is oftentimes football players, and you can tell, not necessarily all the time, but you can tell he's one that probably invites the contact, delights in that contact.
Brian Zare picks up the foul, his first personal foul, second team foul. First free throw won't go for Kelly. The lead is 4 points at 7-3 for Shoreline. Leading Bellevue. Shoreline coming in at 5-6 overall. Bellevue at 9-6 overall. This the opening game of North Division play in the NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference, and their tournament coming up here in about a month and a half. Almost 2 months, really. And in fact, it is 2 months until it happens in March. Ball kicked out of bounds by Kelly, and so Bellevue retains with 20 on the shot clock. 15:53 to go first half. And the Bulldogs will throw it in their navy blue uniforms, red numbers, and white trim. Moving to our left. Out on top, Michael. Here's a three ball. There's a big guy shooting a three ball and draining a three. Jack Walton out of Bellevue puts it up and in and pulls the Bulldogs to within 2 at 8-6.
That's a real pretty looking stroke for Walton. I'm guessing Geberwatt's not going to play off him next time.
Oh, Smar out between the circles to Kelly. Now Geberwatt along the baseline. Closed off there. Nice change of direction. It was closed off one way. Says, I'll just go back the other way. He won't be denied, and it's a 4-point lead for Shoreline.
I'm pretty sure Walton was expecting a travel call right there, but when none came, Geberwatt took advantage of that. And I don't think he did. I think he just kept his pivot foot down, did a great job. Pivot, up fake, pivot, and score that basketball.
Across top of the key, Lockhart to Zare, 11 to shoot. Here's a 2, that's from 18, offline right, no good by Walton. Quick outlet pass down the floor. Geberwatt goes in, laying up and good. Kind of delayed going back there. Jack Walton kind of sandbagged a little bit and wasn't back there to play the defense, and it's a double score at 12-6 as Shoreline is out to a 6-point lead. They've led by as much as 7 in the ball game. There has been a Dolphin sighting in the building. Here's a 3, it's up and it is good by Jordan Muir-King, puts it up and in and drains that 3, and suddenly that 6-pointer is a 3-point lead.
Big shot right there by the point guard freshman.
There's Derek Dean off to Geberwatt, having a great game, and Dean gets the assist. Geberwatt with the bucket, and Geberwatt has 8 points in the ball game, 8 of the 14 points scored so far by the Shoreline Dolphins. Fadeaway jumper, good by Jordan Muir-King. And it's 14-11 the lead. Now will Shoreline try to answer? They will. It'll be Geberwatt. That was a 2 from about 18 and a half feet away, and it will not go, and the ball went out of bounds, so that gives it over to Bellevue.
And I think that was a little bit of a heat check for Geberwatt right there, feeling, I got 8 points right now. Let's let it fly. And I think coach is saying, no, how about you come sit down, get a little rest. Great job inside, but let's stay to the game plan.
Coach Donald Brady in his second season. His dad, 27 years at Palm Desert High School, is one of his assistant coaches down on the bench. And an illegal screen is going to be called here, and it'll turn the ball over to Shoreline. And I've always said you like the guys when you have an old assistant coach. Isn't that right? It's a guy that knows you take the next exit, or knows that, you know what, the guys are done today. Why don't we send them home?
Absolutely, and it's important to have those veteran coaches who've been doing it for so many years.
Are you that guy?
No.
You're not the old guy?
No, I'm not the old guy.
Okay.
No, that's the home.
You had the consummate old guy.
we were blessed to have 2 for a number of years. Now we have 1. But old guys have been coaching for about 10 or 15 years longer than I've been alive. I think that qualifies as the old guy.
Yeah. So after the turnover, here comes Bellevue, down by 3, 14-11. Brian Zare has it. That's a nice spin move there, and Bellevue's Jonathan Michael out of Shorewood High School. That's high school's just about 8 or 9 blocks from here.
Right.
Puts it up and in. It's a 1-point lead. So what was a 7-point lead for Shoreline is now 1, as Bellevue's kind of finding their, not that long a trip, I was going to say, finding their bus legs. Here's a shot up, and we're going to go to the jump ball here. We'll go on the possession arrow after the ball is stuck there. Tough luck there for Skylar Kelly, except it's not that tough of luck because the arrow favors Shoreline. They'll have the basketball. Kelly will throw it in with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. I'm not sure they were supposed to reset the clock, but they're going to call a foul anyway, so that'll take the timekeeper off the hot seat here. What are they calling?
Well, Coach Don Brady was definitely working them earlier, definitely wanting to foul for Kelly on that take right there that resulted in a jump ball due to the stuck ball up in the rim. But you can tell these two teams are very aggressive, very physical, and neither one's wanting to back down. So we're going to probably see some more excited Terry players as we go.
Well, Daniel Chang and Lee Gregory are still talking about it as to what they're going to call. There was a foul called after the whistle. We're walking to the other end.
So a technical foul was called.
A technical foul has been assessed to number 11, Jonathan Michael.
So technical on Michael. First free throw here by Skylar Kelly is good. I'm not sure if he said something or.
He might have been. He looked like he was guarding the inbounder there. He might have reached across the timeline. And if he makes contact, it is.
Okay.
So I think that's why we're going right back to what we did. But I think he reached across, and if you reach across, it can be a delayed game. But if you actually make contact, then that's definitely not.
And college basketball point of interruption right there. So they go right back to a baseline inbounds, and the shot no good. The putback is up no good. And Brian Zare grabs a rebound for Bellevue. Here come the Bulldogs down by 3. They move it right side. Jonathan Michael closed off there. Back out to the top of the key. Quentin Moore puts it up. That's a two-pointer from about 17 feet away. Quentin Moore out of Lake Washington High School. He's a Kangaroo now playing for the Bulldogs.
And he's not traveling too far to go to college either at this moment.
No, just up 405, about 2 exits. Now Skylar Kelly, he did travel far, and he traveled far there as he went to the deck and got knocked over. No call. He's kind of looking at the official, then looking over the bench like, I'm landing on the floor. Didn't somebody hit me? I thought so too.
That is a very worthwhile look he can give an official on that.
And now everybody's kind of standing around, and they've done something with the clock. It's been an interesting day here at Shoreline today.
Yeah, we had some power interruptions earlier during the women's game to start the game. Luckily, it seemed like I think we were able to take care of that. They had some power interruptions for the PA system too, but who knows? You know what? We're professionals here, Tom, so we're ready for anything, right?
You always like it when the head coach goes over to the scoreboard operator and reaches over and starts punching buttons.
It's not always good when your head coach can do it upside down, maybe better than the person can do it who's actually sitting there. But it's not the first time, won't be the last time in gyms and across America.
Here's a turnaround jumper on the way, no good. That's a miss there by Gadisa Margasa, and that'll be taken down by Bellevue. Down by 1, Bellevue with a chance to take their first lead of the ball game, and they will do that as Akil Williams out of Garfield gives Bellevue their first lead of the ball game, leading by 1 here at 17-16. So they were down by 7 and fought all the way back to take the lead. Shoreline's gone kind of cold here the last few trips down the floor. On the dribble there is Kwame Kang looking to go around the top of the key. Now they pass it down low, and no, it's going to be intercepted there by Jonathan Michael. Michael to Zare, back to Michael, looked at the 3, didn't take it, rifles a pass to the baseline, no good. Muir King misses it, back out to the top to Williams, feeds it over to the left-hand side. Muir King has it, and now to the left corner to Williams, puts it up. Akil Williams, 2 trips down the floor, 2 buckets for the Garfield High School native, and it's 19-16. Bellevue up by their biggest lead here in the early going at 3 points. 11:22 to go in the first half.
And it looks like Muir Kang for Bellevue might have taken a poke in the eye in that last possession. He's kind of still squinting with only one eye open, but it hasn't slowed down his plays. He grabs the rebound right there.
Skylar Kelly off the missed 3. He got hammered. He didn't let go of the basketball, but no call, and Bellevue clears out. Williams, a little spin move at the foul line, closed off there by Kelly. 17 to shoot. Top of the key is Quentin Moore. And Moore, well, Jonathan Michael was more interested in pushing back on the defender for Shoreline than he was to receive the pass, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Shoreline basketball when we return. Timeout on the floor with 10:53 to go in the first half. Our score, the Bellevue Bulldogs 19, the Shoreline Dolphins 16. You're watching Shoreline Community College Basketball on STSPN.com. I told you there's been a dolphin sighting in the building right down there. I don't know if that's Flipper or Willie. I think
Willie
Willie was a whale.
Willie was an orca. So we're going to go Flipper on this one, I think is the general consensus here at the bench.
So after the turnover by Bellevue and the timeout, it'll be Shoreline basketball, and they bring it in. Skylar Kelly right side, Shoreline down by 3. Feeding it down to the baseline. Torrance Baker, who did not play last week, but Baker's in there now. Baker out of Garfield High School. Over to the right side it goes. Derek Dean, and he goes to the floor. The ball goes out of bounds, and the whistle sounds from Daniel Chang. And they're going to whistle a foul here on Bellevue. It's going to be on Calvin Dennis. That's his first personal foul. 4th team foul. Fifth team foul. 10:28 to go in the first half. 19-16 the lead for Bellevue. Chance to carve into that lead, and that first is up and good by Derek Dean, averaging about 12.5 points per ball game out of Bishop Blanchette High School.
And so far I've been really impressed with Shoreline, had that early run. Bellevue withstood it, took the lead, but Shoreline's not going to get themselves run out of this game. So even though Shoreline might be the team that has a losing record so far in the season, which you might as well call the preseason since everything really starts today with league play, as this the first league game for both teams. This is obviously a highly competitive, highly aggressive game so far, and look for it to continue.
Out on top, Dennis looking down low to Williams. Back out for a 3 that will go for Jordan Lockhart. He drains the 3-ball left wing, and the biggest lead of the game for Bellevue, up by 4 points at 22-18. We're halfway through the first half at the 10-minute mark. Skylar Kelly now down low goes to Baker. He faces and fires, and a tough luck shot rims out, no good. Zare grabs the rebound for Bellevue. Williams up the floor. Back to Brian Zare out of Jackson High School. Calvin Dennis over the right side to Lockhart. Looking for a screen. Williams will shoot a 3. It won't go. Kept alive by Shoreline. Grabbed by Skylar Kelly. And they will slow things down. Derek Dean on the dribble at the left wing. In front of the Bellevue bench, across the way from us. Still on the dribble. And goes all the way down around, and then Brian Zare blocks him from behind for Bellevue. Grabbed by Williams. Brings it up. Left it at the top of the key. Calvin Dennis saved him, and he goes down, and he has done something to his ankle. He kind of grabbed his ankle, then got up quickly like, don't send anybody out here. I don't want to come out of the game. And he won't. He'll stay in there. He went down a little awkwardly.
Yeah, he looked like he kind of got his legs rolled up on a little bit, almost more something you'd see in the football arena more than the basketball court, but he seems to be fine right now.
Brian Zare swings it left side to Lockhart. 24 to shoot, 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Don Brady, you can see up and yelling instructions, and that's a miss. Maybe instructed the Bellevue player, Jonathan Michael, miss this thing so we can get a rebound. Down by 4, here are the Dolphins. Dean on top again, it goes to Kang. Now right side back to Dean again. Dribbles in, fades away, puts it in. Count the bucket, and one coming up here for Derek Dean. Nicely done there. You know, you can tell from a week ago we did the game. Nate Duchesne worked with me last week. The intensity ratchets up when you get into league play.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the thing is that, you know, throughout that preseason kind of preseason mentality in a way, you're working on different things. You're kind of looking to find your rotation as a coach. You're looking at what offenses are working for you or not. And when you get to league play, now it's time. We've already figured all that stuff out. Now it's time to stick with the rotation we have. No more kind of trying things out as much as we need to go execute and go win ball games.
Lockhart now down to Zare. Zare waits for the defender to go by. Nicely done there by Brian Zare. Waited for a couple of defenders to go by, and then he had a chance to go up and put it in. It's back to a 3-point lead for Bellevue. Here's Derek Dean.
And Brian Zare is always, I mean, looking at those high school games, numerous ones that we both saw, he's always played much taller than his 6'4" frame.
Turnaround jumper won't go. A 3 missed by Jason Smar. And out of backcourt, here comes Bellevue now. New York Kyung brings it up as they work it left side. Lockhart down low again, and then Calvin Dennis has the ball stripped, and here comes Derek Dean. Down by 3 is Shoreline. They have it. Smar, who had a little bit of a rest, is in there, dribbles it to the top of the key, give it off to his backcourt running mate, Derek Dean. Dean goes around a screen set there by Devin Jackson. And back out for a shot good. Devin Jackson out of Juanita High School drains a 3-ball, and we are tied for the first time this afternoon at 24. Shoreline led by 7. Bellevue has led by 4. Right now it's a 24-24 tie. Calvin Dennis on top. Swings it left to Lockhart. He'll shoot a foul line jumper. No, I think it was a foul line pass to Dennis. Back out for a 3 that goes for Jordan Muir-Kyung. And it's a 27-24 lead again for Bellevue.
And it looked like Jason Smar got a real nice block on that, but just very Johnny on the spot. Calvin Dennis able to grab the ball, fire it back out, and get a 3-pointer for his team.
The runner no good by Devin Jackson for Shoreline. Bellevue clears. Muir-Kyung to Zaire, low block, back to the basket. He'll face and fire and miss and get fouled. And it'll be Brian Zaire going to the free throw line, averaging about 10.5 points per ball game, 6.2 rebounds per game. First free throw or first foul called on Devin Jackson. 5th team foul. And Brian Zaire at the line, free throw will not go. And he will get another. It's a 3-point lead for his Bulldogs. Brian Zaire, a 68%er at the free throw line. Next one is good. 28-24. And a couple of substitutes will check in, so we'll get everybody with 5 aside. We'll be ready to go. Little kind of one-man full court pressure by Jordan Lockhart for Bellevue. Derek Dean almost lost the handle on it.
Almost a little too nonchalant right there, just feeling pretty confident, not realizing Lockhart was poaching around him so much.
Margarza, now to Dean, back to Margarza, back to Dean again. 11 to shoot.
And Bellevue's dropped into a 2-3 zone for the first time all game so far. Either team's left their man-to-man.
Smar, 3, good for Jason Smar with about 4 seconds left on the 30-second shot clock.
And Coach Jeremy Eggers for Bellevue has been there for 13 years. He's been there, done that. Very calm and relaxed on the sideline when plays like that happen. Obviously, he's not happy, but he definitely takes his moments to coach his team up, but lets his team play. Not too excitatory at the same time. Coaches very hard in between.
Lockhart has a bad pass. May have been partially deflected, but it was knocked out of bounds. So Shoreline now with a chance to retake the lead, down by 1, 28-27. 5:45 to play here in the first half.
Bellevue's staying in that 2-3 zone, but now they're a lot more vocal about talking about where Smar is in the court if he dropped that long-distance 3 ball in the last 2-3 possession.
Derek Dean, he'll try to split the defense, and he finds Gebrewat, misses the lay-in, may have been partially blocked right back at him by Calvin Dennis, now along the baseline, and here is a steal. It will be taken here by Jonathan Michael. And Bellevue up by 1. They bring it down the floor. Muir-Kyung has it. He gets a screen. He'll shoot. He will hit the 3.
That is a shooter's bounce there, Tom. Back rim straight up about 6-8 feet and drops down through.
Yeah, it went up. It obscured the shot clock. It went up that high and then dropped right back through. And here's another steal. Muir-Kyung has it. He goes in with a right hand. Lay-in won't go. Nicely done defensively by Derek Dean with him stride for stride. And there's going to be a foul called, I think, in the aftermath of that. Everything up to that point was good. And
Jake Walton did a great job of following that play, and he was fouled on the putback by Jason Smar. Both players went to the deck. Pretty sure Shoreline didn't really appreciate that call, but Bellevue shooting 2 free throws regardless.
Smar with the foul, his first personal foul, 6th team foul. Jack Walton at the free throw line for Bellevue. Out of Bellevue High School, averaging 13.3 points per ball game and 7.5 rebounds. And the first free throw will not go. 31-27 the score. Bellevue leading Shoreline. 4:52 to play into the first half. And you can see Don Brady is up coaching his team up, say, hey, watch this number 1 guy. He just checked in. Has anybody got him? and that is Akeel Williams. Next free throw is good. The lead is 5, 32-27. Here comes Shoreline, down by 5. Mark Garza out of Nathan Hale High School. Now to Derek Dean. Dean looking left, goes to Smar, 13 to shoot. Jason Smar, he will measure and fire a 3, rattles, and there's another shooter's bounce. Bounced 4 times on the rim and dropped in.
Well, he got the back of the rim, the front of the rim, the left and the right, and dropped 3. Maybe we should give him extra points. I'm not quite sure.
32-30, 2-point lead for Bellevue. They'll try to answer with a 3 offline right, no good by Bjork Young, and Shoreline brings it down. Up the floor, Devin Jackson feeds it to Smar. He'll dribble in, kick it back out to Dean. He goes in, lays it up off the front of the iron, and to the cup and in for a 32-32 tie. And a timeout called by Bellevue. We will step aside with 4 minutes and 1 second to play in the first half of action. We're all tied. Bellevue, Shoreline. You're watching Shoreline Community College basketball on STSPN. A 32-32 tie. We've had 1 lead change in this ball game and 2 ties. We were tied at 24, besides 0-0, but tied at 24 and tied here at 32. Here we go. Bellevue basketball. And we're going to have a illegal screen set. Jason Smar is laying face down. I think he got screened illegally.
They're going to call Calvin Dennis basically for having too wide of a base. Smart's foot caught on his and tripped him up, and it's one of those. Dennis didn't move on it, but he's going to get kind of, because you're the guy, you get called for the foul, even whether it was really his fault or not, I think.
So Smar will stay in there. He's kind of limping a little bit. He's going to throw it in. Yeah, make the guy with the hurt ankle run the length of the floor.
A little hitch in his giddy up there.
Offensive foul, no shots here, so the foul is going to be whistled. As you mentioned, Calvin Dennis was his 2nd personal foul and the 7th team foul. So bonus time the rest of this first half, none on that particular foul. Here's Mark Garza, puts up a shot, it won't go. Geberwatt a tap up, it will not go. And Brian Zare grabs the rebound again for, I was going to say Jackson. He's from Jackson, but it's for Bellevue. And then he got the ball going right down the lane, little shuttle pass, and he couldn't handle it. But it was last touched by Shoreline, so Bellevue will keep it with 22 on the shot clock. 3:28 to go in the first half. And Brian Zare gets it on the inbounds to Isaiah Green out of Montlake Terrace High School. Now to Zare again, missed the lay-in, tried to get his own rebound, but instead it's Geberwatt who gets it. Here's the big guy dribbling out of backcourt, swings it over to the point guard, Smar. He backs in, turns, fires from 15, it rattles and goes.
That is a high degree of difficulty shot he made it look very easy right there. 10 points for Smar for the game so far.
Our second lead change, and it's a 2-point lead now for Shoreline. They've led by as much as 7 in this ball game. Probably in too far, back out for a 3 that will not go by Isaiah Green. And here comes Shoreline. Couple of maybe bad choices down the floor for the Eggers coached Bellevue team, but here's a strip away, grabbed by Isaiah Green. He makes up for it, goes the length of the floor, and a blocking foul is going to be called. And here's in high school basketball, you don't have it. In college and pros, you do. You've got that half circle down underneath the hoop.
Absolutely, and on that one, it didn't look like it came into play there just because he was able to, Green was able to get to the side of the defender. But yeah, you got to be set up outside that charge circle right there, else it's not going to count.
Derek Dean, first personal foul. 7th team foul, and bonus time now. Here comes the first free throw. It's up, and it is good by Isaiah Green for Bellevue, and he will get Oh. Shoreline gets a foul. Welcome back here. And we're going to have a technical foul called as well as Bellevue leads Shoreline 39-37, just underway here in the second half after a technical foul whistled on Margasa for Shoreline, his second personal foul and the first team foul, and a couple of free throws good. And there was also a personal foul called on Michael. That is his second, Jonathan Michael, for Bellevue. So from the point of interruption, it'll be Shoreline basketball at the far sideline. It's a 41-37 lead now for the Bellevue Bulldogs. Shoreline moving to our left here in the second half. And their home white jerseys trimmed in green and black. Top of the key, Derek Dean. Skylar Kelly to Dean, open for three. Won't go. Actually shot that three, wasn't really open. Over the top of Calvin Dennis. And it'll be Bellevue basketball. They're bringing it out of backcourt. Jordan Muir-Kyung brings it across the timeline. Goes to the top. To Dennis, corner, Zaire. Brian Zaire drains a three right in front of the Bellevue bench to the far side. And it's out to a 7-point lead. Bellevue, their biggest lead of the basketball game at 7 points at 44-37. So equaling Shoreline's biggest lead.
Nice little 5-0 run right there.
And a steal and a two-handed slam dunk by Brian Zaire.
Check that little 7-0 run right there to start the half by the Bellevue. I almost said the Wolverines there, Tom.
Yeah.
By the Bellevue Bulldogs, excuse me.
And Coach Don Brady says, you know what, let's talk about this because Joel Boyer, he doesn't like that 7-0 run by Bellevue to start the second half. That's not the way to do it. And suddenly what was a 2-point lead is now a 9-point lead, biggest lead of the game for Bellevue.
And Coach Donald Brady right there appears to be letting his team know his frustrations on that 7-0 run to start the second half.
So Shoreline coming into the ball game at 5-6, Bellevue at 9-6 overall as we start the conference part of the season. For Bellevue coming in on looking for their fourth consecutive win. Last three games they beat Gonzaga club team 75-48. They beat Yakima Valley 90-68, and they beat Bellevue 69-62. And for the Shoreline Dolphins, they come in, as I look on that page, they beat Yakima Valley last week 67-60, and they haven't played since then. So here today, they're opening up NWAC league play in the North Division. And the North Division consisting of Edmonds, Whatcom, Bellevue, Everett, Skagit Valley, Peninsula, Shoreline, and Olympic. Got blue screen on this side. Out on top of the key, Derek Dean. Derek Dean going in, puts it up off the window, no good. Tap up, no good. Smar one more time, no good. Dean one more time, and it will go. Wow.
That's great hustle play by Dean and Smar right there, not to let that ball die.
I thought I was watching volleyball there for a second. Jonathan Michael goes down. I thought maybe he got slapped. He was going to miss the shot and cleared out by Mark Garza. Here comes Shoreline now as they bring it up, down by 7 to 46-39. Letting go of the basketball, Skylar Kelly for a three, won't go. Smart, I thought he was going to reload and refire, and he didn't. They'll set up the half-court offense with 25 to shoot. Dean changes direction. Jason Smar, he will measure and fire. That's a three, straight dead on, and down it goes.
And you know, when he first went to load that ball, I couldn't even tell if it was going to be a pass or not, but when he lets that fly, you can definitely tell it's a beautiful shot.
Brian Zaire had a two-handed flush a little while ago, misses the lay-in here, and Smar grabs the rebound. So Shoreline's kind of found themselves here. Derek Dean, he puts on that burst of energy, goes in, and then will get fouled on the way in. And they're going to say he was fouled on the way to the hoop, and he's got two shots coming up here. Derek Dean out of Bishop Blanchette High School here in Seattle. Second personal foul, that's whistled on Jordan Muir-Kyung, second team foul. And Derek Dean at the line for the Dolphins. The first will go. You guys inhaled about 2.5 pizzas here at the halftime intermission. Joel, you look like it was your last meal on Earth.
Well, sometimes when that clock's ticking down, you just really feel the pressure of you got to make sure you get your meal before the time goes off.
Todd Elvig over here, I thought he was being led to the gallows. He was shoving it in so fast. Lane is up and good. And so it's a 48-44 lead.
And just like that, after we saw that 7-0 run by Bellevue happen, well, we saw a real quick 7-0 run, or actually it's now become a 7-2 run for Shoreline to get right back in this game, be down 4 right now.
There's Smar, turn around, puts up an air ball, and Muir Kyung grabs the rebound before it goes out of bounds. He'll bring it up himself out of backcourt. Feed it back to the basket. Dennis at the high block. Back out for a 3. That will not go by Jack Walton. He misses, and the rebound controlled by Shoreline. Dolphins with the basketball down by 4. We're about 3.5 minutes into the second half. Derek Dean out to Smar in the corner. Nobody's on Margarsa, and he shoots a 3 and nails it. Good play by Smar.
That was a real nice double high pick right there by Smar as one of the two. Generally you have two bigs up top there, but Shoreline was really working on trying to get Smar the ball on a flare, but he found the extra pass, and he got a nice easy 3 ball for his teammate Margarsa.
Michael goes to the deck. He loses the basketball, and Shoreline will take advantage and lay it up and in and take the lead here. Our 4th lead change of the ball game, and it's Shoreline up 49-48. Brian Zare in the corner from Bellevue. The Bulldogs in their dark navy blue uniforms, red numbers and trim, a little white trim as well. And swinging around the defense is Muir Kyung. Either no one to pass to or didn't want to pass it, but he got bailed out and fouled. But he was on the deck, so they will say an out-of-bounds play here for Bellevue. And the foul is going to be called on Shoreline Joe Geberwatt, his second personal foul, second team. And Geberwatt will go to the bench for Shoreline. And Bellevue will throw it in at the baseline. Fresh 30 on the shot clock, down by 1 to Shoreline with 15:45 to go in the first half. Muir Kyung will throw it in.
And for Coach Don Brady, it's okay going a little bit smaller, bringing out Geberwatt when Bellevue just subbed out Calvin Dennis at 6'9". That's still working out for him just fine.
That's a 3, won't go for Muir Kyung. Smar grabs the rebound. Quickly up the floor, here comes Shoreline. Skylar Kelly goes in, lays it up, missed it, no good. Trapped off the board. Don Brady wants a technical, or at least a basket interference goaltending charge. He's not going to get it. Cleared out by Bellevue. Zare in the corner. Goes around and kind of lost control of it, but then finding it and putting it up and in. Luckily, as Jack Walton kind of bailed him out.
Yeah, Jack Walton found a present right on the Christmas tree right at his feet there. Beautiful job grabbing that ball, going up with it, scoring a lane.
Back to a Bellevue lead and our 5th lead change of this ball game. It's Jason Smar, top of the key. Margarsa, foul line jumper. It will not go. Smar went high in the air. It was knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say Smar was last to touch, and I think that's the right call. He was contending that Jack Walton put his finger on it last, but I don't think so.
Well, and I think that's the referee's discretion right there, too. It might have been off Jack Walton, but I think he was probably fouled on his hand when he was grabbing that ball, too. So
which do you want?
Sometimes you say, hey, let's not call the foul. Let's go the other way with the ball, which, as a coach, more times than not, that works out in your favor as well.
Brian Zare going in, two-handed slam. He's got 2 slam dunks in the ball game. Open lane to the rack, and it's a 3-point lead for Bellevue.
And that was a lack of communication by the Shoreline Dolphins right there. Muir Kyung was about ready to launch that 3, and they had 3 guys fly at him. Well, that leaves Zare pretty wide open for a baseline dunk.
So now Shoreline down by 3. They have it. Dean loads and fires, won't go. Muir Kyung grabs the rebound. And then away from the basketball, a pair of 10s. I got a pair of 10s. What do you got? Because they're laying down on the floor next to each other underneath the hoop to our left.
Looks like they got
Smar,
Jason Smar on that one for holding on to Zare after they were boxing each other out there.
I think Jason Smar and Brian Zare have played each other a few times in the past decade or so. One for Edmonds Woodway, one for Jackson.
Well, and that's the thing to remember. I mean, they're both sophomores. They're both the same graduating class coming out of high school. But beyond that, they didn't just play each other, Edmonds Woodway and Jackson. They probably started playing each other when they were, 11 years old, 12 years old, playing AAU basketball, and then middle school basketball, and then high school basketball. And seeing each other in NWAC Community College right now for Shoreline and Bellevue. So 2 players that have seen each other a lot and probably even guard each other a lot.
That's just a nice move with a big guy moving it through the lane. Jack Walton puts it up and in and opens up a 5-point lead for Bellevue, 54-49. Now Dean will bring it up for Shoreline. Do they have another run in them? They came back and got the lead. Over the head pass out to Kelly. Can't put down the 3, but Smar is there. He can't put up the lay-in. It misses, no good. Walton grabs the rebound. Up the floor comes Williams for Bellevue. Stops and pops from 17. Won't go. Smar's there. Grabs the rebound for Shoreline.
And I'm not so sure Brian Zare didn't get a piece of that second putback by Smar right there, but unfortunately the Bulldogs weren't able to cash in on that. Here come the Dolphins.
Derek Dean swings it across the top of the key. Smar with it to the baseline. We're going to have a foul called. I thought maybe Smar dribbled it on the out-of-bounds line, but they're going to call a foul here on Bellevue. Brian Zare picks up the foul, his second personal foul, the third team foul. The scoreboard says 3 personal fouls. Out to Kelly, down low. Smar can't get it. And they say off of him and out of bounds. And he's saying, how about the axe murder that happened to me on the way underneath? And it didn't, no call there. And a timeout on the floor with 13:07 to play here in the in the second half. We'll keep it right here. Don Brady up kind of pleading his case to the referees that there wasn't a foul called under there. And I think it's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, Coach Don Brady is very unhappy, and it's been building for the last few possessions, feeling that Smar was kind of the victim down there when that fast foul was called on him instead of on Zare. Felt like he got hit on the head a couple. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that as coaches you feel can go both ways, and you feel it's going to happen both ways. But Coach Don Brady is a very animated coach. Coaches hard, very passionate, as you can tell, but isn't real pleased with some of the calls going against him.
They have changed the scoreboard. So Buddy Patrick, write this down, will you? And note the date and the time. The Buddy Patrick was right.
Yes.
Second personal on Brian Zare.
Man, we'll put that in the record books there.
54-49 the lead for Bellevue. And we have had 5 lead changes and 3 ties in this ball game. Don Brady is still up pleading his case with the referee down at the baseline to our left. Bellevue still gathered around their coach, Jeremy Agers. You can see Don Brady there signaling that should have been this, and you should have done that, and why didn't you do this, and my guy didn't get this call, and I give up.
And right now I think he's pleading his case, but also working now on making sure refs aren't against him on the next call. So oftentimes as coaches you really want to get back that last call that you felt was a wrong one, but they can't go back. But you got to see if you can get the next call out of them.
Akeel Williams for Bellevue with it. Now a whistle. And they're going to get Mark Garza, I think. Yeah. He put up the wings a little bit too hard, and they're going to call him for the foul, his third personal foul, and the 4th team foul.
Well, Margarza and Michael have been, in the first 3 minutes of the game, there was a dead ball at that time, and they blew it, and they said both players have been warned. So those two have been kind of chirping at each other all game long and being physical with each other all game long. So, there's probably a little bit more to this, too. I bet they've seen each other in the AAU circuit as they're the same grade, same town, too.
Here's Brian Zare for Bellevue going in. Boy, he's had a couple of open lanes to the hoop. And somebody's got to step in there and close it up.
Absolutely.
And it didn't happen. It's back to a 7-point lead for Bellevue. They've led by as much as 9 in the ball game. Smar, now Dean. They were looking down low, looking for Torrance Baker, couldn't find him, and it's going to be controlled by Michael. Offline 3, no good, and Baker grabs the rebound. Out of backcourt, here comes Kelly. Looked at the 3, didn't take it. Smar will in the corner and put it through. Bingo for Smar, and it's 56-52, 4-point lead.
That kid can shoot. He's got 18 for the game now.
That's 2 more than his season average of 16. And here's Brian Zare, who's been filling it up here in this 4th quarter. Brian Zare with 14 points in the ball game, which is 4 above his number.
Well, and Zare with 14 points in the game. He's got 11 second-half points, only 3 in the first half, but he's really been getting into it, the scoring mix in the last few minutes.
Dribbling in, Dean puts it up, no good. And a foul is going to be called. And Derek Dean will go to the free throw line. 58-52, 6-point lead for Bellevue on Shoreline's home floor. 11:43 to play in the basketball game. Third personal foul whistled on Jonathan Michael, and the fourth team foul of the second half. First free throw for Derek Dean is good. The 6'2 freshman out of Bishop Blanchette High School will get another. Honorable mention All-Metro a year ago. And he'll get another here for Blanchette. Blanchette, 80 blocks south of here is Blanchette. If we're playing GPS here.
Right. I mean, that's the nice thing on this one. We hardly even talk about miles. We can just talk about blocks. We're so close.
That's right. The shot no good by Akil Williams, kept alive by Jack Walton. He traveled with the basketball. Got the rebound off the miss by Williams and then traveled with the ball, commits the turnover, and it'll be Shoreline basketball with 11:29 to play in the game and a 5-point lead for Bellevue.
And Coach Eggers, I don't think, is too pleased with that play by his big man, Jack Walton. He wanted to see him actually go be more physical, I think, power up through that rather than travel and create turnovers for his team.
So for his efforts, he'll go to the bench and be replaced on the floor. Derek Dean for Shoreline, down by 5. Look to Baker, knocked away from him by Zer, who's kind of now moved kind of into a forward position. To Baker, power move. When Torrance Baker is heading to the rack, get out of the way.
Yeah, don't take a charge on him. I mean, he's only listed at 6'3", but he's built like about a 6'8" or 6'9" person.
And and he's a linebacker or defensive end size, so
absolutely.
Get out of his way. Long shot, no good. Not sure that's the shot that Jeremy Eggers was looking for as Smar brings it up. Goes into the baseline, puts it up, rims off, no good. Missed it, and Quentin Moore grabs the rebound for the Bulldogs. 10.5 minutes to play. Brian Zer has it right side. It's a 5-point lead for Bellevue, and he launches an air ball for a 3 that went offline badly and controlled by Shoreline.
And I think Brian Zer was hoping for a foul call or something like that, but that just came off his hand poorly.
Geberwatt back in there. Derek Dean has it left wing. So they're kind of going with a twin tower lineup. The Winnebagos are out there, and Geberwatt loses the handle on it. And then Keong goes in. He missed it, kind of short-armed it, and he was kind of affected defensively up the floor. And it'll be Smar who has it. Now to Dean, puts it up off the window, rattles off, no good. Battle for the rebound, won by Baker, back underneath as they work it out to the right-hand side. 3 on the way, will not go. That would have been huge, but the putback is good by Baker.
And Coach Jeremy Eggers for Bellevue.
Smar.
Coach Jeremy Eggers for Bellevue had a point there. That was with that many passes, that many players. I think there was 2 or 3 Shoreline Dolphins still in the key the entire time. He would have liked to have seen that 3 in the key called right there, but unfortunately that tip back in was a 2-point bucket. Shoreline's down by 1.
Let's take a look at that one again as we see it. It was a long 3 and then a putback up and in. So, yeah, there were a lot of guys in there for a whole lot of time as they kept batting it back up and down, and finally it goes in. And a 1-point lead now for the Bellevue Bulldogs, leading the Shoreline Dolphins. 9:39 to play in the game, a 58-57 lead.
And this Shoreline Dolphins team, this is a really tough-minded team. I mean, seem to be a little bit undersized. Maybe the biggest player they have is Geberwatt at 6'6", and they go down to 6'3". It looks like they might have another. We haven't seen Will Luckett tonight, a 6'8" freshman. I'm not sure. It doesn't appear to be suited up tonight. But this is a really aggressive team with the shooting of Smar, the ball handling and physical play of Derek Dean as well. They're pretty set at the guard position, and I really like the intensity they play with.
Bounce underneath. They kick it back out. Brian Zer has it, 9 to shoot. Zer still with it, and he got fouled. Brian Zer looked like he may have twisted an ankle again. He's kind of taking a beating out there today. But he likes to go in there and mix it up.
Well, he's a basketball player. He's not afraid to go play inside, not afraid to take some hits. He wants to win. He's a winner.
Fresh 30 on the shot clock. The foul was whistled on the Shoreline's Torrance Baker, his first personal foul, and the 5th team foul. So Bellevue has it leading by 1, 58-57. Here's a pass, goes to Baker, though he gets it. He rifles a bounce pass to Smar. He couldn't handle it. And Smar turns around to Baker and says, I just can't get it right there.
Possess the basketball. You got to steal out of that. Don't give it right back on a turnover.
And Smar will sit down.
Do we take it over under on if it's a minute break or a 30-second break? Pretty sure Smar will be coming back pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's out very long. Down by 1 is Shoreline. Bellevue with the basketball and the lead. And Brian Zare, with Baker laying on the ground, providing he was playing defense, but he was just laying flat on his back.
I'm pretty sure Zare wanted to take one more dribble and get close to the hoop, but he's like, well, if I do that, I'm going to have to bounce it off a large man's stomach, and I really don't want to do that.
Geberwatt at the baseline. Oh, what a foul is going to be called. Geberwatt is going to be bailed out by a foul here on Calvin Dennis for Bellevue.
And that's going to bring Jack Walton right back into the game from Coach Jeremy Yeagers.
Yeah, Walton will check back in. Zare will go to the bench.
So they're going to leave Calvin Dennis with the 3 foul. What do I know? I'm the expert, I guess. Jeez.
Looking for the inbounds. Shoreline at the baseline. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. 1 point deficit facing the Dolphins. Looking to throw it in. Somebody's going to have to go. No, that's going to be 5 seconds. Just couldn't find anybody open.
That's great team defense. Those are the kind of plays that really you want to be able to fuel your team with. It can't just be a dunk. It can't just be some crazy highlight reel, no-look pass. Those are the things that you really want your team to feed off of. That's a 5-second call is such a team stat that you're like, that is a great job. That's a 5-man team working together to accomplish a turnover.
Left side, Lockhart at the foul line. Give it back to Calvin Dennis as now they'll work at right side. Baseline, Jonathan Michael trying to back in, 9 to shoot. Back out top of the key, Jack Walton. They're going to call a block. They're going to call Torrance Baker for the blocking foul as Walton lowered the shoulder. Now the officials are kind of looking at each other like, do you agree with me? And he says, yes, I do.
And you know, we'll make that's 3 of us. I also agree that that was the right call. I felt that Torrance Baker, while he gave his body up and definitely took the bruise, and he put his chest into Walton to try to draw that contact where Walton was in possession of the ball and was obviously had his right to the space as well. So good call right there and a block.
Second personal foul and the 6th team foul. So one more puts Bellevue into the bonus for the rest of the game, of which there's 8:11 to play. Bulldogs will throw it in. That is Dennis going in, stripped of the ball. Knocked out of bounds. Geberwatt, I think, did that, and so it'll be inbounds now with 28 to shoot. Looking to throw it in. They do. They lost the defender. Dean went high in the air, and then a 3 ball will not go for Jordan Muir-Keong, and the ball goes out of bounds in the corner. Don't unplug us down there. Deep in that right corner, and it'll be Bellevue ball out of bounds. Now, was there a change of possession? Or should it have been a reset on the 30?
I think they're saying that was off the rim, and there was no possession gained out of that at all. So we're going to say it's a fresh 30.
Okay.
Smar back in the game as well as Zare.
The Dolphin is standing by the plug-in, so we got to be careful down there. Looking for the
careful flipper.
The flipster's got to be careful out there. Left-hand side, Muir-Keong. Now they'll work it right side. Jordan Lockhart. Bounce it down low. They go down for a reverse land that will not go for Jack Walton.
Great move. Just couldn't get it to find the bottom of the bucket.
Here's Shoreline a chance to retake the lead. Down by 1. 7:25 to play. Dribble across the top of the key. Kwame Kang. Looking down low. Tried to force it to Geberwatt. Back out to Geberwatt. Knocked out of bounds there by Jonathan Michael. And all the Bellevue guys are saying, hey, we didn't touch it. It was clearly off of Michael.
I think he was hoping for a double tap right there, which maybe, or double touch, I should say, but he's not going to get it.
Shoreline will throw it in. Oh, nobody's there. Oh, yes, he is there. Brian Zare goes high in the air, blocks it out of there. Bellevue on the attack and a kicking violation here. The ball is kicked. They'll reset to 30 and 7:09 to play in the second half. Been a while since we've had a basket made. They did not reset the shot clock. They will inbound it here. Brian Zare gets it.
And I'll tell you what, while there haven't been a whole lot of buckets in the last minute or so, it's been a lot of great defense, a lot of hard-working plays.
Jack Walton looking for the backdoor lob. He gets it to Brian Zare for the bucket.
Jason Smar felt like he was pushed off of by Zare. Maybe he had a point, but no call, so that's 2 points going Bellevue's way.
Smart out between the circles to Skylar Kelly. Gebrawat trying to go around the defender. Does. Uses his body, backs it away, but can't get it. The putback no good by Smar. It's funny with Jason Smar. He'll be outside shooting a three or passing it off, and then when the ball goes up from the big guy, he's down there getting a rebound. He's always in motion.
Absolutely. He's a player that never stops moving. Very difficult to guard, very difficult to block out because you expect him maybe just to stay and watch, but clearly in great physical condition to be able to run all over this court at all times, never stop moving.
6.5 to go. Smar will shoot and hit the three. Nails the three ball, and we are tied for the sixth time today at 60-60. Now that is Zare, cross court, back to Zare on the give and go, gets it back, loses it off, and they're going to say a foul whistled here on Shoreline. And I think it's going to be Jason Smar. 10 fouls, 10, and a 10 will go to the free throw line. Bonus time now for Brian Zare. Third personal foul on Jason Smar for Shoreline. Seventh team foul, first free throw will go. He'll get another. 1-1 for Zare. So Brian Zare will get another for the Bellevue Bulldogs. And this, you missed the second one, and Dean grabs the rebound. So Bellevue with a 1-point lead, 61-60. 6:05 to play. Derek Dean. Kwame Kang. Oh, high pass, and it's going to be picked off. Grabbed by Jonathan Michael. Goes on the break, goes down, loses it, and they're going to call a foul here. And I think they're going to get Derek Dean for the foul.
I think they're going to get Kwame Kang on there, Kang. Which Kang put his hand up saying, yeah, I got him, where Dean was incredulous. Oh, and it did go on Dean.
So second personal on Derek Dean, eighth team foul, and a 1-on-1 situation here for Jonathan Michael. Or is it two? No, 1-on-1. They're saying he was on the deck. So he was not in the act of shooting, although he was in the act of shooting.
And being
on
a
way.
Being a 1-point game at this point, this is definitely going to come down to a free throw shooting contest. The rest of the way is both teams will be in the bonus after the next foul.
Free throw won't go. The ball knocked out of bounds off of Gebrawat, so Bellevue will take and retain possession in their front court to our right with 5:50 to go. Inbounds lob. They like that play. Goes to Zare. Now to Michael. Starts the dribble. Backs, and he traveled. Looked kind of cool, but it didn't work out, and he's going to be called for the turnover and give it right back to Shoreline, down by 1.
Well, if you're a Shoreline Dolphins fan, you might have said it worked out just fine. So, it depends on who you are, I guess.
Derek Dean brings it up. His backcourt running mate is Jason Smar. Dean will find a crease to the baseline, kicks it back out to Kelly. Gebrawat, he goes through to the corner. Margarza goes down low. Gebrawat puts up the hook shot, won't go, too hard, foul call. Foul call, boy, that was a late whistle.
Yeah, there are those times as a coach you like that whistle be a little bit more timely. I don't think it's the wrong call.
No.
But it is that frustrating point of,
if it had gone in, you don't call it.
Right, and that's that frustrating point as a coach, at least from my perspective. It's either a foul or it's not a foul. It should have no bearing whether or not the ball went through the hoop.
Gebrawat free throw, good. The foul was whistled on Bellevue's Jack Walton, the third personal foul. 8th team foul. Next free throw is good. And so we'll correct it as 7 team fouls, despite what the scoreboard says. So a 62-61 lead for Shoreline, our 7th lead change of the ball game. Down low, going in, laying up. No, missed it. He thought he got fouled, was Michael. Up the floor comes Smar for Shoreline. We're coming up on 5 minutes to play in the game. Gebrawat left side. Looked like he traveled, no call. Skylar Kelly waits for the defenders to go by, kicks it back out to Dean. They'll set the half-court offense.
And great,
15 to shoot.
Great rotation by Bellevue. They were never on the right player, but they made sure they never got a shot get off on that.
8 to shoot. Dean fouled. Derek Dean fouled. And I think they're going to get number 4. They will. Jordan Muir-Kyung out of Shorewood High School picks up the foul. The 6'1 freshman, his 3rd personal foul. That's the 8th team foul. And Derek Dean will be at the free throw line for Shoreline. Kind of rolling around his left ankle. Physical ball game here this afternoon and into the evening at Shoreline.
League game. League game's gonna be physical. And if this is an indicator of what the rest of the season will be like for these two teams and for the rest of the North League or the North Division, in the NWAC, it's going to be quite an impressive league.
First free throw good, second one on the way. It is good as well. He's 8 for 7 from the 7 of 8 from the free throw line. 64-61 3-point lead for Shoreline. Bellevue with it. Muir-Kyung goes in, lay-in, no, won't go. Follow-up won't go as Walton couldn't get a handle on it. Controlled by Shoreline. 4.5 minutes to play. Derek Dean on the dribble, looks for a screen, gets it. Now directing traffic.
Great communication on that switch by Muir-Kyung.
Smar between the circles. Looking to Gebrawat. He spins, picks it up, retrieves it, and a foul called. Jack Walton doesn't like it, but he's going to be called for the push-off foul. Jack Walton out of Bellevue High School picks up the foul, and that is his 3rd personal foul and the 9th team foul. So 1 and 1 here for Joe Gebrawat, averaging 9.3 points per ball game. A 67%er. He's got 10 so far. Make it 11. First free throw is good. We said a 67%er at the free throw line.
Like we were just saying, Tom, both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. This last 4 minutes is going to be full of free throws. It's going to be see which team's got the nerves to be able to handle them in this high-pressure situation in the first league game.
Next free throw is missed. The lead is 4 for Shoreline. Bellevue brings it up. Akeel Williams. Looks to Zaire. Muir-Kyung down low. Walton rifles a pass to Williams for the bucket. That was a beautiful pass by Walton. Just rifled it to Williams, who was there, and says, thank you very much, and I'm going to try to get a 3-point play here at the free throw line.
Walton felt the double team, saw the double team, was able to find his teammate who jumped right to the opposite block. Great job.
Gebrawat picks up the foul, his 3rd personal foul, and the 9th team foul.
And that's one of those fouls right there. That ball was already up and through the hoop essentially when Gebrawat plowed into him. That's when you'd like to see your freshman big man not pick up in that situation.
Free throw will not go. The lead is 2. Margarsa grabs the rebound for Shoreline. We're at 3:45 to play and a 2-point lead, 65-63. Again this week, a low-scoring game here in community college basketball. Both teams here in the 60s. Skylar Kelly, Margarsa open. That's a 2, won't go. Muir-Kyung grabs the rebound. A 2 ties it. They'll go to Zaire, low block, back to the basket. Dribbles the baseline, lays it up, reverse, won't go. And who gets the foul? And then a little bit of extracurricular activity. After a foul was called, Michael had his arms in the air and was still trying to clear out some space even though the whistle had sounded, but Jason Smar picks up the foul. That's his 4th personal foul and the 10th team foul.
And there's only 3:15 left, but the way Jason Smar plays is so physical. He's definitely got to make sure he stays in this game because as the leading scorer with, I believe, 23 points so far in this game.
If you're Don Brady, you pull him out for a minute?
No.
First free throw, no good.
Now at community college, you only have freshmen up to sophomore, so you don't have seniors, but he's a sophomore and in essence has played that many minutes for you before. He might as well be your senior if we're talking full 4 years. So you let your senior decide it by staying on the court and saying, don't you dare get your 5th.
65-64, 1-point lead for Shoreline. They have the rock. Derek Dean. Big screen set by Gebrawat.
Oh, and they left Smar open right there, but they weren't able to find him.
In the corner, Margarsa. Smar still open. Margarsa puts it up and in.
What a great take.
Took it and put it in, and it opens up a 3-point lead again for Shoreline. 2:49 to play. Muir-Kyung looked at it, didn't. as he measured for the 3. Probably looking for Zaire. He's standing there by himself, top of the key, but they don't see him. And here's a timeout called. After the timeout's going to be called, Jonathan Michael had it, then left it there, and it was picked up, and then a heads-up play. Derek Dean down on the floor, and very heads up to call a timeout while he's laying there looking up at the official, says, "Excuse me, sir, could I call a timeout?" Because that's a rule change in college men as well. The coach can't call that timeout like they can in high school.
Right, and I think that's just in the men's side that they've done that, but it is. They require the players on the court to call the timeout.
And by the way, I like that.
You know, it's a lot of people would say, "What's it matter? Does it really matter?" But I'm with you on that. It's just another aspect to the game that you want players to be able to handle and have that heady nature to say that this is the time we need to call a timeout. And your coach can yell from the sideline saying, "Hey, call that timeout for me." But the player has to recognize that and be in control of the basketball. They can't be jumping out of bounds. They need to have their 2 feet on the ground, be able to say timeout. So I like it too. It just kind of puts a little extra mental stress maybe on them.
Well, and you. And you see when there's a scramble for the basketball and nobody really has a handle on it, everybody's laying on the ground and stuff, and suddenly there's a timeout called by the coach. Well, who has possession? Nobody has possession of that.
And it's often hard because the referee, who's usually, oftentimes if it's in the key furthest away from the scrum, is closest to the coaches and hear them yell timeout, so they give them that acknowledge the timeout when, well, they're not even closest to tell if there's even anybody there.
Top of the key, Dean. 3, hits it. Derek Dean.
And that is a huge 3 right there to stretch that lead from 3 up to 6 with 2:08 to play right now. Bellevue with the basketball down 6. That was a great shot, great take, great jumper drained.
Shoreline 70, Bellevue 64. 2 minutes to play. Here's Williams off the window and in. And an immediate timeout called by Jeremy Eggers. They'll want to set up the defense here. Big possession coming up here, really for Shoreline, as they're going to have the basketball. And they have to get a quality shot, but use some time, don't you think, on the other end?
Well, absolutely. I mean, right now, Don Brady's meeting with his coaches without going over his team right now, just saying, hey, what do we want to run here? What do we trust the most? I mean, both teams have been playing man-to-man the entire game. It's, you know that you're going to expect they're going to be coming out of the timeout doing that same thing. What do we trust right now? Who's that ball handler we trust the ball? What is the set we want to run? Because this isn't just to take 30 seconds off the clock. This is if you score here and go up 6, if you get a score and also stop a Bellevue on the defensive end, you got to think Bellevue's going to have to start fouling you now. So that's what you definitely want to get into that. So having a 4-point lead is fine, but you need to make sure you don't come with an empty possession right now if you're Shoreline. You want to get that extra bucket, go up by either 6 or 7, and then you're really in control to maybe get this win.
So if you're Shoreline, whose hand do you want it in? Is it Smar?
I think Derek Dean's the one you want the ball to start with. Okay, but you would definitely want Smar to be able to come off screens. But at the same time, I've been really impressed with Dean's ability to handle the rock. Geberwald inside is too. I think you can run Smar and say he's our man that we want to get the ball in his hands. Or do I want Smar to maybe be my decoy and run it off and see if they can't double off somewhere and get a backside lane?
So Smar's going to throw it in. Full court pressure by Bellevue. Margarza. Geberwald's out there. Skylar Kelly could be a key factor here too. 22 to shoot. That's Derek Dean. Still on the dribble. 17 to shoot. Back out to Geberwald. He traveled.
Great help defense by Jack Walton the entire time that Derek Dean had that ball. But Geberwald on the catch just couldn't get his feet under control.
70-66, the lead for Shoreline. Minute 40 to go. Geberwald goes out. Some situational substituting here. And that'll put Torrance back out on the floor. Torrance Baker. Williams. Will they put a defender on him? Williams. Well, he ran right into Baker. That was why he was out there. And then Shoreline controls. Dean brings it out of backcourt. Minute 23 to play. 22 on the shot clock.
That empty possession for Bellevue is everything except what Jeremy Eggers wanted. He definitely wanted to see that finished. Not a bad take by Williams, but you wonder to know if he could have gotten a set run for Zaire or maybe for Mir Kung.
Down to 9, down to 8. Still on the dribble. Down to 7, down to 6. Dean won't go. Blocked. Walton called for the foul. Jack Walton is going to, and we're going to have somebody's on the floor. Derek Dean, I think it's a cramp because he's pulling back on his toes. And Jack Walton has just fouled out of this ball game. The 6'6" freshman out of Bellevue High School will have a seat on the bench down next to Jeremy Eggers.
And the hard part about that as well is you had that shot clock down to about 6 or 5 right there. It's like the last thing you want to do is foul when there's 6 or 5 in that shot clock. So, you know, it's kind of an unfortunate tale. Obviously putting Derek Dean to the line right now for 2 free throws. Jack Walton fouls out, and they ran 26 seconds off the shot clock. So everything went Shoreline's way in that possession.
Jack Walton, who averaged 13.5 points per ball game, had just 8 in this ball game. First free throw good by Derek Dean. I think that cramp is still hurting him.
Yeah, he's definitely favoring his calves and trying to kind of massage him as he goes. Looks like Coach Don Brady's going to have to get a sub on this right now. Hopefully he can get him stretched out in time.
Next free throw won't go. So here comes Bellevue down by 5. 1 minute to play.
And you got to think Muir Kung has got to attack Dean right now with that cramp.
He goes in, puts it up. Baker's in the way. No good. Gets his own rebound. Back up. It won't go. And the referee, who's standing down by the Mod Pizza down here at the corner of 175th and Aurora, is going to make that call. There's another thing I don't like about three-man mechanics, that the guy that's standing down at the corner of 85th and Greenwood is making the call.
You know, it's that hard thing. If you definitely want to, you don't want to call out of your area, but at the same time, if there's a missed call,
yep.
You know, I'd rather have you get it right than, you know, that's nothing more frustrating here. Refs say, that's not my area. I don't care. Your whole area should be the 94 feet of a basketball court. So if you see it, I don't care about if you're hurting someone's feelings. Make sure you get the right call made, even if it's a half second late.
Skylar Kelly with the foul, his third, 10th team foul. Both free throws good. The lead is 3. 50 seconds to play. Shoreline brings it up. They have the lead. They have the basketball.
And it appears Bellevue's going to play this out and not foul. There's 20 seconds on that shot clock. You definitely don't want to foul now since they've already run it down to 15.
Derek Dean still on the dribble. There's no count until the hold on the 5 seconds closely guarded. 10 seconds to go. Now he goes in. Attacked by Williams. A double team there. Dean has it. Somebody's open. Mark Garza loses the defender, and he went high in the air and fouled him. Muir Kyung went high in the air, was going to block the shot, and then Mark Garza was never going to shoot the ball. He is now at the free throw line.
Great up fake by Mark Garza right there, and you got Muir Kung to just rise up, but very, very heady play by Mark Garza. 2
shots here, huge free throws to make it a 2 possession. It's 1 possession here with a 3. It's a 3-point lead. Mark Garza, free throw, good. Well, that's a relief if you're a Shoreline Dolphin.
That 4-point lead's a real big deal right now. 24.8 on the clock.
And 5 points even bigger. So Mark Garza, next free throw here.
And the Bellevue Bulldogs don't have to go for a 3 right now. It's their 2-possession game regardless of this shot. He did make it, so it's a 5-point game. They need to get a bucket. It can't be an empty possession, no matter if it's a 2 or a 3.
Muir Kyung. Shot clock is dead. Muir Kyung has it. Out for Zaire. NBA 3 will not go. Smar grabs the rebound, and now he'll have to be fouled in backcourt. And Shoreline looking to even up their season at 6-6.
And even more importantly, 1-0 in league.
1-0 in league. And we're looking at Derek Dean as our player of the game. Is that who you like?
I mean, he's battled through a lot tonight. Really handling the pressure up top, playing point guard for him. Jason Smar has been spectacular. He might be the runner-up to the award, but
he got it last week. So
okay. Well, I was gonna say I really like. I would give it to Dean regardless of that. I just really appreciate the way he's controlled the pace of play. Had a number of different defenders on him, including Muir Kung and Williams, and 2 guys that are extremely quick, and he's handled the pressure just fine. So really impressive what Derek Dean's done tonight.
Couple of free throws good, 75-68, 10 seconds to go, and this ball game's going to draw to a close. Going in, Williams, the layup won't go. Down to 3 seconds, and they can just dribble it out, and this ball game will come to a close. And the Shoreline Dolphins, I'm going to say it, Joel Boyer, that's an upset.
You have to think so. Just looking at the records, obviously. I mean, Shoreline comes into this game with under 500. Bellevue is a lot of, seemed like a lot of veteran players, a lot of sophomores on that team. Looking through that list of players for Shoreline, many more freshmen than sophomores, but really impressed with what Shoreline was. I mean, they were down in that, coming out of the second half. They go on that 0-7 run, down, automatically down 9. Never gave up. Battled back right away, got back in the game. Highly contested match. Really impressed with tonight.
And a very closely contested within 16 points. Shoreline had as much as a 7-point lead, and they win it by 7. But they had a 7-point lead way back in the early part of the ball game. Bellevue jumped out to a 9-point lead, and then I kind of thought, Well, here comes Bellevue. They're going to take it to the next level, and now they're going to win by 12 or 14, and it didn't happen.
No, you definitely had that feeling that Bellevue is going to just continue that run and not give it back. But Shoreline, big credit to them and their coaching staff. They were prepared and ready to go.
And we're going to get Derek Dean, our player of the game here. Good job here. We're going to get our player of the game situated. You ready to go? Good ball game tonight. Put that right up close to your mouth. Is it my imagination or from last week to this week, when you start playing league games, the intensity kind of ratchets up about 10 points, doesn't it?
Definitely. As a freshman, I mean, everybody was telling me that things change once the season really starts. Definitely noticed it, for sure.
You bet.
I mean, you guys are essentially, you played 11 games at this point. You're 5-6, but that really doesn't matter. That's all preseason stuff. It's really about what you do in league, and now you're 1-0 in league, which is a big deal. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Is it cramp or what was holding you back there for a second?
Yeah. Well, first I rolled my ankle a little. I rolled my ankle early, and then both calves started cramping up on me at the end there. So.
But you hit 2 big free throws no matter what.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Had to knock them down.
There you go.
Talk about playing with a guy like Jason Smar.
I love him. I love him. He's such a character, too, off the court. His big shots in the game when we need it. So I love playing with him.
And it takes pressure off of you as well. I'm guessing Skylar, too, that you guys are all like working together.
Yeah. It's definitely nice. I mean, they're great shooters from the outside, so if I can get in the middle and kick it out to them, it's guaranteed to go in almost.
So what do you like better, being outside for a 3 or inside and going inside for something around a big guy?
Me personally?
You personally.
I like getting in the middle.
Do you?
Yeah.
Mixing it up a little?
Middle.
Good. Well,
Makes
good
things
job.
easier.
You bet. Good job today.
Thank you.
And 1-0 in league, right? There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. That's our player of the game, and we're going to come back and have a quick word and a couple of stats for you as we wrap it up here. Again, the final score, 75-68 Shoreline over Bellevue. Come back with a final word here on STSPN.com.
Real nice kid. Yeah. Blanchard kid.
It was hot here, wasn't it? Everybody's down there fanning. I'm going to repack the fan for myself. I guess I'm going to have a college bag. I don't need all the gear.
Going back to college.
I just need I think that means another trip to Bellas. Buy a bag of some sort.
Jeez. Bellevue was 10 for 16 from the free throw line. Shoreline, 20 for 25. That's the line 11 more times. Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, anytime. And we welcome you back here to Shoreline Community College. In the women's game earlier, Bellevue thumped Shoreline 74-33. Then just a good old-fashioned basketball game here in the second. And Shoreline beats Bellevue, final of 75-68. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. As we take a look at some of the highlights, let's take a look at some of the highlights on the stats. What jumps off the page at you?
Well, as I say, the biggest thing that jumped off the page right away was just the fact that Shoreline shot 11 more free throws in the game. They were 20 for 25, real pretty percentage at 80% for the game. Bellevue Bulldogs 10 for 16. It's not the number makes as much as the fact that they were able to get to the line 11 more times Shoreline was, which is just a huge thing. And the fact they were able to make that many more was a big difference in this ball game when it came down to a 7-point win.
And so the final score again, 75-68, Shoreline over Bellevue. Thanks for being with us here on Shoreline Community College basketball and STSPN. We've got high school basketball, wrestling, and more college basketball next week with Shoreline as well. So for Joel Boyer, I'm Tom Lafferty, along with Buddy Patrick, our statistician, Todd Elvig, our network producer. Again, the final score in the second game of our doubleheader, it was Shoreline Dolphins 75, the Bellevue Bulldogs 68. You've been watching Shoreline Community College basketball on STSPN.com. NBA free bubble. He just absolutely drains that one.